Hello everyone and welcome back to another Trains and World 2 news video. Very exciting news today. We do have a release date for the Brighton Mainline and that is going to be October the 7th. So we are 1 week away from getting our hands on the London commuter route, and some more exciting news about the layers which are going to be included on the route as well. There was an update to one of the most recent articles, and that does tell us that we are going to be getting, as we draw closer to the release of Rush Hour London Commuter, we can look forward to the incredible 1,059 services for the BR Class 377 electric multiple unit, 178 services for the BR Class 387 across all platforms, additional playable services for the BR Class 66, the South Eastern Class 375, the Great Western Railway BR Class 166 DMU will also be available on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S and PC versions of Rush Hour, taking those version services to approximately 1,400 services. So if you're on last gen, you'll be getting 1,059 services. If you're on next gen and PC, you'll be getting 1,400 services. These additional playable locos and units also add AI traffic to the route, along with the inclusion of AI traffic from the Great Western Railway Class 43, obviously the HST, the South Eastern BR Class 465-9 EMU, and the BR Class 09 at Lovers Walk. In total, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S and PC versions will have in excess of 4,000 drivable and AI non-drivable services. This busy 24-hour timetable truly immerses the player in the rush hour experience and gives a more realistic simulation of what it's like to drive trains during such a hectic period. And obviously, if you do want the additional layers, you do need the DLC. So I'll go through what DLC you need now for each layer. So if you want the BL Class 66, I would imagine that will be from the East Coastway route. If you want the South Eastern BL Class 375, that is from the South Eastern High Speed. If you want the Class 166, you will need the Great Western Express. And then obviously Class 43, Great Western Express, the 465, South Eastern High Speed with the 465. The Class 09 would be West Somerset Railway. Oh my god, 4,000 drivable and AI non-drivable services. I mean, that is just absurd. I mean, I think the most we got at the moment on TSW is 400, and we're going to be getting 1,400, so almost 1,000 more services. Joe Burgess, we salute you. And then we've also got the article as well. So the ever-busy Brighton Mainline that features in the upcoming Rush Hour London commuter has so much history and unique features throughout the route. We thought we would show you some of the most interesting stations, viaducts and architectural landmarks you will see as you hurtle past them in your Electrostar unit of choice, as you can sort of work out what screenshots is which. So London Victoria is a Grade 2 listed building. Opened in 1860, Victoria Station, or London Victoria as it's commonly known, serves the Brighton Mainline services bound for London. Chatham Mainline services also started arriving 2 years later, giving it easier access to the Kent coast. This was done by creating two separate stations internally, but the appearance of a single station from the main entrance. Its entrance facade is an impressive structure and wonderful location to start an adventure to the coast. Due to the eclectic mix of railway lines that connect both from the Brighton and Chatham main lines, it has developed itself as one of the major transport hubs of central London. Additionally, it connects to numerous London Underground lines and Victoria Coach Station, giving passengers even more choice of destinations. This access to transport links in central London ensured it was one of the busiest stations during both World Wars and welcomed the body of the unknown warrior to London. Under the ownership of the Southern Railway in the 1920s and 30s, the station changed significantly. The wall that separated the two sides was removed, platforms were renumbered into a single station, and major works were completed to install the third rail electric and all Brighton mainline platforms. It would be around another 30 years and under nationalisation before the Chatham side of the station would receive the same upgrade. In most recent years, it has earned itself the title of the second busiest station in Britain, handling over 81 million passenger entries and exits in the 2015-16 season. Currently, platforms 1 to 7 facilitate South Eastern services, and platforms 8 to 12 and 15 to 19 facilitate Southern, with 13 and 14 being dedicated to Gatwick Express. And obviously then you've got the Battersea Power Station. Noted as being one of the world's largest brick buildings, this imposing structure has been stretching it into the London skyline since its completion in 1955. However, a full half of the station was completed and in service as early as the 1930s. It was known as Battersea A, situated on the south bank of the Thames, just south of the London Victoria, and now Grade 2 listed building is impossible to miss as you approach or leave the London terminus. Designed by a team of architects and engineers that included popular architect Sir Giles Gilbert Scott, who was hired to address concerns over it being an eyesore on the London skyline. He addressed the public's concerns brilliantly with the building you see today, adding to it the already impressive portfolio of the aesthetically pleasing industrial buildings. This so-called Temple of Power is thought to be one of the best. By 1983, both parts of the power station had ceased outputting power. That was because of the smog it was causing, the Great Smog of 1952, I believe it was. It then gradually fell into a state of disrepair, despite a variety of bids to utilise the space. Finally, in 2013, building work started and the redevelopment begun. You can even see some of the cranes brought in to facilitate the work in the rush hour London commuter. And now we've got East Croydon Station, which I'm sure you can guess which one's East Croydon, as you can see it on the screenshot. The station that stands today, East Croydon, is very different from its Victorian predecessor. This modern station has evolved into a juxtaposition of its different design aesthetics and ideas, and is one of the busiest non-terminal stations in the entire United Kingdom. From the ultra-modern and recently installed footbridge to traditional detailing of the station canopy poles. Having undergone a major refurbishment in 1992, the Victorian-era station building was replaced by a lightweight steel-frame building. It's complete with two towers in each corner that are suspended with wire-frame rigging, making it look like a suspension bridge or a sailing ship. Each tower is topped with the National Rail banner, appropriate to the station at the time of construction. Now a reminder of the era of the railways gone by. This modernisation was ideal for the passengers as it included an updated concourse area and easy access to the town's tram network. And then we have the Valley Viaduct. With the Brighton Mainline leaving the busy city behind, it encounters the cinematic and undulating landscape of the South Downs, something that is fantastic for passengers, but less so for railway engineers. Deep valleys and steep hills had to be conquered as an easier route didn't present itself. The Ouse Valley and River were one of the biggest challenges. The London and Brighton's railway chief engineer John Rastrick and architect David McCarter stepped up to the challenge and achieved excellence. What they created has been described as the most elegant viaduct in Britain, located just south of Balcombe. It was constructed with approximately 11 million bricks and stretches 450 metres across a valley on 37 semicircular arches. It is framed by four small rectangular Italianate pavilions at either end and is completed with classically balustrated parapets, string courses and pier caps. It opened in July of 1841. And then you have the Clayton Tunnel North Tunnel, which is the more interesting side, as on the south side there's not really much to look at, but on the north side you do have the Castle Portal. Constructed in 1941 with the signalman's cottage added 8 years later across the top of the tunnel mouth. The incredible tunnel, 1941, probably 1841. Yeah, I think that's a typo though. The incredible tunnel portal is a treat for any railway architecture enthusiast. Its complete Gothic castle-like aesthetics are thought to have been designed by Chief Engineer John Rastrick or one of his subcontractors. And it's not keeping with the company architect David McCarter's favourite design stylings. However, to this day, its designer is still unknown. Even the reason for its construction is shrouded in mystery. Located between Hassocks and Preston Park stations, the Clayton Tunnel cuts 1 mile, 499 yards through the South Downs. Keep your eye open for its impressive features and large octagonal turrets that decorate either side of the tunnel mouth as you hurtle south. We can't think of a better location to try your hand at railfan shots. And obviously, yeah, if you hold square or if you hold X on controllers, you can take a railfan shot. Which I think it's different now, but let's just get on to Brighton Station. With a vast quantity of historic sites and tourist attractions that attract passengers to Brighton, such as the beautiful Royal Pavilion, the ever-popular pier, and the exciting nightlife and entertainment, it is unsurprising that Brighton attracts millions of tourists and day trippers every year. As you arrive at Brighton Station, the southernmost terminus of the Brighton Mainline, you are greeted by an imposing Grade 2 listed building with a double-spanned curved glass and iron roof. It stretches across all station's 8 platforms and is a fitting end to your scenic journey. Designed by architect David MacArthur as not only the main station for East Sussex Town but also as the head office of the London and Brighton Railway, it was completed in 1840 and followed a similar Italianate style to the Ooze Valley Viaduct. The first train from London arrived in September 1841. Today, the original 3-storey structure is obscured by a variety of extensions and additions to the building. However, some traditional features, such as the street-facing clock, remain visible. The station has also been renovated following a grant from the Department of Transport and saw upgrades to ticket booths, retail outlets and many more facilities. And yes, it is coming on October the 7th. Obviously, you can get it on the season ticket, or you can purchase it separately. Obviously, I'd go for the season ticket, $34.99 for all 3 rush hour routes, or $24.99 for one route. The choice is yours, but I think, season ticket. But anyway, that is going to be everyone for today's article. Wow, I still can't believe it. Hats off to Joe. Obviously, there is a preview stream tonight, 8 p.m. BST, so do be sure to be there. Obviously, you will find a link in the description to the Discord server, to the PayPal, and to the merch store if you do want to help support the channel. And I hopefully will see you in the next one. See you all, and take care. Bye, guys.